Misfits Boxing is less than 2 weeks away. The return of KSI, the Nightmare at Wembley Arena, is live on DAZN pay-per-view. And there is a change at the top of the bill. Mams Taylor, over to you.
There is indeed. There is indeed. So, as you guys are aware, Mr. Danis has made quite a few excuses. He signed a binding short-form contract and no material changes were ever made. He complained about the rehydration clause that he never negotiated, signed the contract willingly, knowingly, gone through his lawyer, his team, and then he didn't speak to us about it. He didn't say, hey, Mams, or his team didn't come and say, hey, can we discuss this? Can we figure it out? He just went on Chael Sonnen's show and said, oh, I'm not going to be put at a handicap. And I just negated that one point that he was concerned about, which is the rehydration clause. So we struck it out. Said, okay, there will be no rehydration clause. Are you still willing to fight now? What's your excuse? Radio silence from Dillon. Few days later, his team, who I feel sorry for because they're very cooperative, they're very professional, his team, they came and said to me, I got a phone call saying Dillon is pulling out of the fight.
Were any reasons given to you? Were any reasons given to you for the pullout?
The real reason is, from what they said to me, is that he's underprepared. He has no coach. He might be struggling with weight, even though there's no rehydration. He has not been able to find a team that's going to support him, to put him, to bring him into the fight. And obviously he's got some other issues, I think. And it's very sad and unfortunate because he didn't have the respect. He didn't reciprocate the respect that we've given him. And no word from him. He's clearly embarrassed that he's in this position. And look, he's probably, I don't know, who knows what he's going to come out with and say. But I'm disappointed because I never thought that he would put, for someone who cares about his reputation as much as he does, or what people think of him, I didn't think that this would be something, despite many people saying the opposite, that look, he's not going to show up to the fight. And they were right. They were right. So, you know,
Mams,
we are where we are.
Mams, when was the last time that you spoke to Dillon?
About 4 days ago.
And what can we ask what was in that conversation?
Yeah, I said, I'm shocked that you would do this. I've given you so much respect and courtesy. Why would you go on Chael Sonnen's show and say that you're not fighting? And because of a rehydration clause that you never tried to negotiate. And he said, hand on God, I never knew about it, even though he signed the contract. So it's not my responsibility. It was brought up to his team. They were fine with it. The things we did negotiate was the weight for the weigh-in. We wanted 170. He wanted 185. We ended up going back and forth and meeting in the middle at 177.5. All was agreed. The fee was agreed. All the material points were agreed months ago. So for him to then suddenly come out with this rehydration thing, I said to him, look, the rehydration clause is out. Are you pulling out? Then he didn't respond. He stopped responding to me at that point. He has not, and his team have not provided us with what we need to ensure that he travels, his information, who his team are, who we need to book flights for. And then I did get the call from his representatives saying that he's pulling out of the fight simply because he's not going to be ready for it. And for someone who claims they're a fighter, that's really not a very valid excuse.
What was your initial reaction when you got the message saying I'm out of the fight? What was your first gut feeling?
Thank God we have a replacement opponent. Thank God we have a suitable replacement opponent. And, you know, look, JJ's JJ's been training hard. It's just disrespectful to JJ. If Dillon was a proper man, he would go and say, guys, I am so sorry. Like Swarms. You remember when Swarms pulled out his fight with Kristen Hamby? He made a video being absolutely truthful, very honest, and it was really well received. He said, look, I'm just not ready. I really wanted to be. I wanted to fight. He's never going to say that in my estimation. If he does, I'll give him I'll give him the credit he deserves for being honest. But at the end of the day, as a fighter, you're contracted to fight. You have a responsibility to the promotion, to Misfits, to DAZN, to KSI, his opponent, to all of us who've been training. KSI has been training really hard. We've been preparing. He didn't show up to the press conference. That was a red flag. And again, because of our hesitation and knowing that there is a chance that all the rumors are true, that he just doesn't fight, he just wants to be on social media, we were prepared for this situation this time. And,
let's jump to that new opponent in just a second. I have one final question, because you alluded to it there, the press conference, the one that he didn't show up to. Did you sort of suspect this then? When that no-show occurred, when that appearance didn't happen, there was the talk on Twitter, the king does what he wants, I'm not going to dance to your tune. Did you sort of think back then, this isn't going to happen?
No, I did more so than I did previously, but he assured me that that's not the case. He said, I'll make up for it. I said, you need to address this. You need to say something on Twitter. If that's how you feel, that you want to march to your own drum, at least say it so people know that you're still coming and you're still going to fight. Unless that's not your intention. He's like, I'm absolutely going to fight. I'm going to beat the crap out of KSI. All of these things, you know. So I don't know if this was his plan all along. I really don't think so. I don't know what happened to him, but it's just scummy, and it's not respectful. And listen, at the end of the day, I doubt any organization will have faith in this guy to show up for them ever. You know, I think he realized, okay, I'm going to have a fight with a guy who will possibly and probably beat the crap out of me, and I don't want that. I'd rather pull out. And I think that's basically the decision he made, and that's not how a fighter operates, you know.
How did KSI take the news?
He's pissed. He's like, I got dashed with coffee from this guy. Yeah. And look, we wanted Dillon to show up to that we knew about. No one knew he's going to bring the coffee and spill it on his face. KSI wanted to get his revenge for that and other things. Like he obviously JJ wasn't happy about that. So he's not going to get his comeuppance in the ring. But I said, look, people get their karma, and ultimately he's embarrassed himself to the nth degree. So I don't know how anyone's going to book this guy again for a fight and rely on him. He's not reliable. He's not been honest or trustworthy. And you know, again, if he comes out and rectifies this by saying, look, this is what happened, this is why, and not blaming and pointing fingers, because the one thing he did is he pointed a finger and said, hey, they're messing me around. There's a rehydration clause. Okay. As part of JJ's team, you always want to, and he's the A side. We put that clause in. We didn't expect that they wouldn't negotiate and just sign it. We thought there might be some negotiation. That's how negotiations start. There's nothing wrong with that. But the point is, they signed it, did not negotiate. And then when he brought it out as a problem, as a potential problem that would stop him from fighting, we struck that. So now there's no excuse. Are there any other points that you don't like, Dillon Danis? Are there any other things that you feel are unfair towards you? No, radio silence, you know? So we wanted to make sure. And at that point, when he did that jail video, I did kind of assume that this guy's messing around, and we can't afford to just keep planning that he's going to suddenly be reliable and show up when fight day comes. So I pushed and pushed, no answer from him. got the answer from his team and his representatives that he is in fact pulling out, and they told me the reason, which was that he's underprepared. He was sick, apparently had COVID during the time in Austin, which is a long time ago at this point, you know. But if you're a fighter, you fight. You do anything you can to fight. And I don't know that he can call himself that. So I remember JJ saying, after I'm done with you, you will never be able to call yourself a fighter again. I think that's actually manifested to become true.
So KSI has this anger, has this frustration that he wants to let loose on somebody in the ring. It's not going to be Dillon Danis. Mams Taylor, who is it going to be?
So the reveal will come shortly after this. So you guys will see. But like I said, I think we were prepared for it. And you've got to, unfortunately, in this space, and I know people are going to say, look, it's your own fault. You should have known Dillon Danis. And we were hoping that this would be an exception and we could give the kid a chance, because my relationship with him started off really well, to the point where I thought, this guy's just a misunderstood kid. He's a nice guy. But your actions speak louder than your words, and his actions have shown me otherwise. So at this point, I've got nothing good to say. I can't, you know. But having said that, we were prepared, and in this space, you always have to be prepared, because we don't want to cancel fights. That's not our brand. We want the show must go on. So yeah, you guys will see very shortly who the opponent is, followed by a face-off between them. So I think that's going to be exciting. And we put our focus on that, and we move forward, and we put on a great show as always.
As always, we do. Mams Taylor, we're a couple of weeks away from it. Where are you now? Have you made the trip to London already, or are you still in America?
I'm in America. I built a shelter for my donkeys, and they're not going in it. They're standing in the rain. So I'm stressed about that more than anything else. But but no, I'm here. I'll be in London very soon for fight week, and I'm very excited about it all. It's going to unfold really well. And listen, we put this behind us and we move forward, and we learn from our mistakes, and we keep trying to grow and provide ultimate entertainment for the fans. And that's what our commitment is.
Thank you. As always, Mams Taylor. January 14th, DAZN pay-per-view, Wembley in London. It goes down. We'll see you there.